And we continue our conversation with Green Bay mayoral candidate Patrick Buckley. We were mentioning the downtown district development, and you mentioned that you'd like to see expansion development further on the outskirts.
Yes.
Where?
Yes.
What would you like to see?
You know, Lombardi Avenue, with everything going on Lombardi Avenue, with the Packers development out there in Titletown, the county's putting the expo hall there shortly. There's that whole area to the east and in some areas to the north that are in the city that we need to work with our neighbors and be part of that whole development out there, because it's only going to enhance not only the city, but you know, that's a way to connect Lombardi Avenue to downtown. That's a way to connect Lombardi Avenue to Military Avenue and get people coming more into the city.
Yeah, so you don't see it as competition with Ashwaubenon, do you?
No, no, I look at them as a business partner. You know, we need to partner with our neighbors, whether it be Ashwaubenon, whether it be Bellevue, whether it be Oneida. We need to develop with our neighbors to be a stronger city.
Probably put another subway out there too.
Yeah, that would work.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Downtown parking, people complain it's inadequate. How do we deal with that issue?
It's a very frustrating issue, and I have employees that complained about it to me. I have neighbors. I have other business people, and I think that anytime we're looking at developing downtown, we have to take a look at how it's affecting other parts of downtown. If we're going to put a new office building on an existing parking lot, where do those parking people go? Or parking lot.
Go to park.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's not really considered when we're looking at development. It's the logistical side of it that we have to consider. Are we going to have enough parking? How convenient is it? Because in the retail end of it, we need parking that's quick in and out. If it could really change the makeup of the community and the local businesses there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think we're ultimately going to see in what used to be called, or still is being called, the shipyard? What's finally going to happen there?
That's a good question, and I've studied it. I've learned a lot about not only the developments that they've proposed. However, I know what can actually be done given the land and the water issues around it. So I think there's a lot more work to do there before we launch any projects.
In launching a project on that site, would you try to go back and make friends once again with those organizations who dropped out, i.e. Festival Foods?
I would try to get anybody that would be interested. If Festival Foods would be interested, if any of the other local businesses would be interested, I think we need to bring these people together and do a joint effort with the city. There's a lot of work to be done down there. We also need to figure out how we're going to tie that in South Broadway into North Broadway. I want to make sure that we have a good flow so that what's happening on either end helps benefit the other. We have Lights Park. You know, so if we put a park on South Broadway, how can we connect the two? How can we get people from the south to the north the quickest, fastest way possible?
Do you have at this point a master Patrick Buckley mayoral plan for the city that maybe you haven't, shown to people yet, but privately you've done some work for yourself?
What I look at when I look at the city is, first off, we need to look at City Hall. And I really think we need to take a look at all the job descriptions, what people are doing. Do we have people in the right places? And how can we, as a city, better serve our community? And I think that development is a huge part of what makes up the city and how we fund projects down the road. And there's things like when a developer comes to the city, I want someone to be responsible for ushering that project through, so that when there's questions or there's time delays, we know why. I hear a lot of frustrations from developers, from people just going in to ask questions at City Hall, and they're frustrated because they can't get things done in a timely manner. Or unfortunately, a lot of employees that I know down there look at us as the city of no. And that's frustrating to me because there's a lot of good people that work there. And so we need to become the city of yes. How do we get this done?
And we continue with Patrick Buckley right after this, so please stay with us.